Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 2, week 36, ending December 20th, 2019. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm on a mission to become a great growth stock investor. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. All the major indexes, including the S&P 500, have been hitting all-time highs. This index is still looking really good. It did have big volume on Friday. It's up 53 points since last week, or 1.65%. I read in the IBD newspaper that it was quadruple witching day on Friday, and that accounts for the big volume in this index and in a lot of other stocks. I know that the witching has to do with expiration of stock futures and stock options, and that causes big volume in a lot of stocks. I looked up the exact definition in Investopedia, and I have it here if you want to pause and read exactly the exact definition. The Russell 2000 is also looking good. It's up 33 points since last week, or 2%. That blue line on the top is the S&P 500 index. So the Russell 2000 index is not beating that for this 6-month period, but it is continuing to go up and looking better recently. The VIX, or volatility index, all week this was between 1171 and 1278. Down at that number 1 in that purple circle, that's the range all week for this index. You can see it had really short bars compared to those really tall bars that it had for the past few weeks. That's really nice that it had a tight range. And it closed the week at 1251. Last week's plan was to sell anything that triggered a floor, plus I wanted to do some buys. So I made a buy 3 in eHealth, which then triggered a floor. So that I bought one day, sold the next day, but that freed up some money for me to make a B2 in NEO. Here's a current holding bar chart for the last 6 weeks. Many of these stocks I've held more than 6 weeks, but I was losing the dollar value on it when I included all of the bars. So this lets you see the dollar value for my $10,000 B1 purchase in each of the stocks. In the middle, you can see Cosan, symbol CZZ, is up to $14,598. This stock has my largest gain, followed by eHealth in the yellow and AMD in the red. Here's the chart showing all of the weeks that I've held each of these stocks and my initial thoughts. So I basically thought that I should be dumping Copart and GPN. I like to look at the individual stock charts and rank my holdings. I look at these factors: if the price is going up, if the stock is above its 8, 13-day, and 28-day moving averages, is the 8-day moving average going up faster than the 13-day, and is the price at the high for the week? And then I rank them from the weakest to the strongest. So Lululemon, number 1, is my weakest stock, followed by Copart. And surprising, GPN is number 5. Even though I don't have much gain in that stock, it had a really nice chart. My 2 top performers are Cosan at number 7 and AMD at number 8. I have sell rules set up that help me with a floor, which is a point where I would sell the stock. So I have those automatically set up because I work full time and I like the stocks to just take care of themselves during the week. Initially, I set my floor at 8%, but then I have other options. The one that I implemented this week for most of my stocks are the 13-day simple moving average or the 28-day exponential moving average. And I like my stocks to be going up at least 0.5% a week. Lululemon is my weakest stock. It has a nice gain. I've held it for just about 10 weeks and it's up about 13%. I did raise my floor to the 28-day exponential moving average, which is that diagonal light blue line. It did bounce off that 2 weeks ago when it had earnings, but it's now well above that, and I'm hoping that it stays above that. This stock was up 3% this week after being down 2.5% last week. Copart. This is my second weakest stock. I do have 2 buys in that. One I've held for 9 weeks and it's up 8.6%, and one I've held for almost 4 weeks and it's only up 0.3%. I did move the floor up to this 28-day exponential moving average. The stock was up 2.4% for the week, and it did have huge volume on Friday, which is part of that quadruple witching. eHealth. This is my third weakest stock. I marked this as a weak stock because on Tuesday I had purchased my B3, and then at number 1, the following day it went down over 8%. It had a swing on Wednesday of 8%. This stock is only up 1.5% for the week, which is my only stock that did not beat the S&P. I do have a nice gain in this stock. My B1 I've held for 6.5 weeks and it's up 27%, which is crazy. And my B2 I've held for 2.5 weeks and it's up 5.2%. CDW. I also moved this floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average, that diagonal blue line. This stock was up 4.5% for the week. I have 2 purchases in this stock. One I've held for 13.5 weeks and it's up 17.6%, and one I've held just under 7 weeks and it's up 8%. I consider this stock strong because the 8-day simple moving average is above the 13-day simple moving average. That pink one's on top, then the green, and then it's followed by the blue, which is the 28-day. And it does appear that that 8-day, the pink one, is moving up faster than the 13-day. GPN, Global Payments Inc. Finally, I have a profit in this stock. I've held it for just under 5 weeks and it's up 1.5%. The last 2 weeks of this chart look great, and I can't believe I'm thinking of buying some more. It did have a nice cross of the 8-day overtaking that 13-day, and it shows good acceleration. It also has really nice volume. I did raise my floor on this to the 28-day exponential moving average. NEO. This is the best performer of the week, up 8.2%. I do have 2 buys in it. One I've held for 2.5 weeks and it's up 10%, and one I've held just for 2 days and it's up almost 3%. I did raise my floor on this to the 13-day simple moving average. Cosan, CZZ. This is one of my top performing stocks. It has an astonishing 46% gain in 10.5 weeks. I also have a B2, which I've held just under 10 weeks, and it's up 37%. And I have a B3, which I've held just under 9 weeks, and it's up 33.6%. I did move my floor up to the 13-day simple moving average, and I'm wondering if I really should have moved it up to the 8-day, but I didn't want to put the floor too tight. There's great volume on this stock, and I'm watching it, making sure it doesn't have a climax top and just start dropping. It did close at the bottom of the range on Friday, which it hasn't had a close in the bottom of the range for quite a while, so I'm going to keep a close eye on this stock. And AMD I ranked as my strongest stock this week. I did move my floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. This stock also had nice volume, and it was up about 7% for the week. I have 3 buys in this. One I've held for 7 weeks, up 24%. One I've held just under 7 weeks, and it's up 19%. And one I've held just under 4 weeks, and it's up 12%. The benchmark shows that in 1 year and 36 weeks, my $100,000 has climbed to $145,852 versus the S&P 500 for the same time frame is $121,267. For the last 6 weeks, I've been beating the S&P, and my biggest contributors this week were CZZ with $1,419 gain in the 3 buys I have, and AMD with $1,634. I did have a slight loss in my new purchases. I had a $154 loss, but my gains from my existing holdings was $5,927, plus I got a dividend of $15 from Teradyne, which I had sold a few weeks ago. This is the weekly percentage change for the week, sorted with lowest on the top and the highest on the bottom. I drew that red line showing which stocks outperformed the S&P 500 and which ones underperformed. So eHealth with a 1.5% gain is my underperformer this week. The S&P 500 beat that stock, but all of my other stocks beat the S&P 500. And this is the current dollar gain on my $10,000 B1 purchase only. Again, sorted with the lowest value on the top. So GPN, I have $148 gain, and followed by Copart, where I have a $858 gain. My largest gain in my B1 purchase is Cosan, $4,599 profit. I also wanted to take a look at my gain from all of my purchases, my B1, my B2, and my B3. So I highlighted the stocks that I have 2 buys in blue, and the stocks that I have 3 buys in purple, and I sorted with the lowest gain on the top. So GPN, I only have 1 buy in, and I have $148 gain. Copart, I have 2 buys in, and I have a gain of $875. Down at the bottom, you see AMD, I have a $4,000 gain in my 3 buys there, and I have over an $8,000 gain in Cosan with the 3 buys. Here's another way to compare my gains with the S&P 500. So I have year-to-date, the S&P 500 year-to-date is up 29.6% versus Melissa up 29%. So I'm almost performing the same as the S&P 500 for the year, which wasn't the case several weeks ago. The lifetime of my stock experiment started on April 13, 2018, and I have a gain of almost 46% versus the S&P 500 for the same time frame of 21%. The industry breakdown shows that Cosan is now my largest holding in the energy sector, followed by retail, chips, insurance, and business services. At the end of year 2, week 36, I have $918 in cash, which means basically I have no buying power. So unless I sell something, unless something triggers a floor or I decide that there's a stock I should be selling, then I can't make any buys. If I do sell something, I would like to look at a B3 for NEO and a buy 2 for GPN. Here's my watch list for the week. I have been disciplined in creating a watch list every week, but I don't have any buying power, so I can't buy any of these. And I have quite a few stocks on them, 28 stocks on my list this week. The ones with the red flags were on my list from last week. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.